Hello everyone. Welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. Will there be a real Housewives of Austin? Rumors explained. Almost everyone has heard that things are bigger in Texas. The Lone Star State knows how to put on a show. And when it comes to Bravo, the network is always looking for the next best Real Housewives series. With Dallas on a long pause, could it be they are looking for a reboot in Austin? Let's break down the rumors. Austin is arguably the best Texas city to have its own franchise. It seems that many followers agree with this sentiment. About a year ago, Disney Channel actresses Christy Carlson Romano and Annalise van der Pol discussed openly on their Big Name Bitches podcast their experiences of being interviewed by producers. Both were discussing the potential, but Christy revealed her interview did not go well. The child actor noted that she didn't really want a spot on the Real Housewives of Austin, and followers doubt they will see her on the final cast choice. Over the years, there have been numerous rumors, but a few have stuck. For example, it was once reported that a version of the series was filmed, but that something wild occurred with a socialite, and the tourism board revoked the filming permits in order to protect reputations. There have been a few rumblings on Reddit as well. Names like Susan Dell and Steve Sarkisian's wife, L'Oreal Smith, have been dropped. Susan and her husband, Michael Dell, who is a billionaire with a capital B, own a pricey couture salon and are the perfect symbol for mega money in Austin. However, when it comes to a rumored cast, any local knows that the Dells are all about their privacy. Steve is the football coach at the University of Texas. His wife, L'Oreal, is a stylist known for her game day outfits. Even though nothing has been set in stone when it comes to Bravo, I wouldn't be surprised if the cogs were already turning. We've watched them sip champagne in Beverly Hills, throw wine glasses in New Jersey, and shade each other under the blazing Atlanta sun. The Real Housewives franchise has become a pop culture colossus, a surreal blend of high glamour lifestyles, raw emotional drama, and meme-worthy one-liners. But as reality TV continues to evolve, so does the question, what's next? Could the Real Housewives journey stretch beyond the usual zip codes and Botox clinics, maybe even beyond Earth? Let's boldly go where no housewives have gone before. The premise: Real Housewives of the Final Frontier. Imagine it. The Real Housewives of the International Space Station. A cast of 7 elite women, space heiresses, tech billionaires' wives, former astronauts turned influencers, living together aboard a luxury space module orbiting Earth. Zero gravity does not mean zero drama. The women would float through narrow corridors in custom Balenciaga flight suits, hair stubbornly bobbing in anti-gravity halos. Arguments would erupt over stolen serum pouches, misplaced anti-aging injectables, and who last used the zero-G cryo sauna. A casual brunch might spiral into chaos when someone sabotages another's Quino supply or accidentally deletes the daily messages from Earth. With private space travel becoming more common, courtesy of SpaceX, Blue Origin, and Virgin Galactic, a private reality series set in low Earth orbit isn't completely out of the question. NASA may not be eager to lease its modules for a Bravo reunion special, but future private space hotels, already under development, might welcome the PR splash. Filming in space would present unique challenges: camera stability in microgravity, communication delays, and the sheer cost of sending a production crew into orbit. But drones and automated cameras could solve part of that problem. And with billion-dollar reality TV empires behind it, cost might not be a deal-breaker. It could even be part of the plot. Imagine a confession booth floating freely, where the camera locks on as Lisa, floating slightly sideways, dabs her eyes with a gold-threaded tissue and sighs. I just feel like she's not being real with me. Not even up here. If space is still a logistical leap too far, perhaps the Real Housewives could make their digital debut in the metaverse. In this version, each housewife is reimagined as an avatar in a hyper-glamorous, simulated world. Think of it as Second Life meets Keeping Up with the Kardashians, a VR series where luxury knows no boundaries. Cast members buy and flaunt NFT jewelry, host exclusive virtual galas, and battle for control of exotic VR cities like Glamora or Diamante. Digital drama would still feel real. Arguments could erupt over hacked designer filters, sabotaged AI assistants, or a rival releasing an embarrassing deepfake. With a VR platform, producers could also blur the line between audience and cast. Fans might purchase backstage passes to enter the virtual set, watch confessionals in real time, or even vote on story arcs. It began as a whisper in the wind of pop culture, a notion wrapped in diamonds and drama. Filmed behind the pearly gates of gated communities and luxury SUVs. A phenomenon known as the Real Housewives took root in the early 2000s, first in Orange County, then sprawling like a vine across New York, Atlanta, Beverly Hills, Dubai, and Salt Lake City. But now, in 2045, people are asking, will there ever be Real Housewives again? We're not talking about scripted reality, curated chaos, or martini-fueled breakdowns. No, the question feels deeper now, strangely existential. In an age of AI companions, cloned influencers, and consciousness uploaded to the cloud, what even is a housewife anymore? And can someone, anyone, be real in front of a camera designed to turn truth into entertainment? The last season of The Real Housewives of Mars was canceled after the botched zero-gravity wine-throwing incident. Ratings dropped once viewers realized that every cast member had undergone neural augmentation, their personalities optimized for maximum engagement and conflict. At first, it was addictive. But soon, fans felt betrayed. We wanted drama. One viewer lamented on Holo Twitter, but we wanted real drama, not this pre-programmed bickering. It begs the question, is reality TV still reality when no one is real? Let's rewind. The original Housewives franchises thrived on contradiction. Powerful, stylish women bound by old-fashioned titles. They were CEOs of their own brand, but still wives. They were mothers, moguls, divorcees, widows, and occasionally ex-convicts. They screamed about etiquette while flipping tables. Their lives were aspirational, outrageous, and just relatable enough to feel familiar. But over time, the formula changed. Fame became the goal, not the byproduct. Cast members trained with acting coaches. They curated scandals to secure screen time. What was once documentary adjacent became a hall of mirrors. Housewives weren't housewives. They were characters in a story they partly wrote and partly endured. Then came the simulations. By 2035, the first fully synthetic Real Housewife premiered. Reina Lux, an AI-generated cast member who existed only in the cloud. Reina had the face of an angel, the mind of a chess grandmaster, and the temper of a hormonal hyena. She became the breakout star of the Real Housewives of the Metaverse, drawing in billions of views across digital platforms. No makeup artists, no scandalous divorces, no inconvenient human feelings. Reina could be in every franchise at once. She was ageless, unfiltered, and completely fake, and yet she was loved. But it made people uneasy. Was Reina stealing the jobs of Real Housewives? Was she a digital parasite on human experience, or the logical next step in a culture obsessed with performance? In a tearful interview on the Anderson Cooper Neuropod, OG housewife Vicky Gunvalson asked, "Where do we go from here? I mean, if we're all replaceable by bots in Balenciaga, what's left? A reunion hosted by Siri?" People laughed, but only a little. It's 2045 now. The last human-led Real Housewives show, The Real Housewives of Cleveland Neo, just ended. There were no wine glasses, no sprawling manners. The cast lived in modest smart homes and argued over child custody algorithms and social credit scores. It had a small but passionate following. Too real, some said. Too sad, said others. It wasn't glamorous. It wasn't fantasy. It was, in a way, the most authentic of them all. So now the question lingers in the cultural era like Chanel No. 5 on a Beverly Hills breeze. Will there be a Real Housewives again? Maybe not the way we remember, but maybe something better? Imagine a new wave. A show not about wives or women pretending to be frenemies, but about people building community. A return to what reality actually meant. Messy, human, unscripted connection. Not the perfectly contoured version, but the late-night crying on the kitchen floor version. Not every woman wearing stilettos at brunch, but someone holding her neighbor's baby while yelling at her teenager and forgetting the coffee on the stove. What if real housewives could be real people, not archetypes? And maybe it doesn't need to be called Housewives at all. Maybe we outgrow the label. Maybe we make room for the real humans of Earth, a show not built on brands but on bravery. Emotional, psychological, interpersonal bravery. No glam squads, no prosthetic drama. Just a dinner table, a disagreement, and a camera that doesn't flinch. Some say that's boring. But isn't that what people said about the Real Housewives when it first aired? That it was just women talking? And yet those conversations, those betrayals and apologies, those contradictions, they made millions of people feel seen.